Poison is a substance with inherent properties that tend to destroy life or impair health. Radiation from nuclear energy poisons the world that we all call home. Newer and more sustainable ways of obtaining energy are becoming important because the use of fossil fuels at the rate that we are using them today are not sustainable. Growing up in a time where clean energy has been such a hot topic and how to sustain life with less of an impact on the environment is also important. I have done research and written papers on this topic back in high school, as well as had detailed discussions in my environmental class in high school. Nuclear energy is not the solution to our energy problem today because its disadvantages outweighs the advantages it proposes. I want you all to believe that nuclear energy is bad. First, I will discuss the negative effects and downfalls of nuclear energy. Second, I will talk to you about the power plant disasters that has happened and its effect on nature. Finally, I will discuss the better alternatives to focus on. Nuclear energy should not be used because its disadvantages outweighs its advantages. Nuclear energy can be dangerous due to the fact its process of creating energy can be extremely hard to maintain. In the process of creating nuclear energy, the power plants create a radioactive material as a byproduct, which is very dangerous and hard to maintain. The byproduct becomes extremely hard to store and can only be stored within concrete capsules. In an article by Baer titled "The Future of Nuclear Energy in the World," radioactive waste takes thousands of years to break down before it stops producing harmful radiation, as well as used in the creation of nuclear weapons. Due to its nature of this byproduct being very extremely harmful to people and nature, and its use in nuclear weapons, many terrorist organizations target these plants and storage facilities as a use of terror. Attack on one of these large plants would be catastrophic for nature and the people surrounding it. Running a nuclear power plant requires the use of a rare element, uranium, as its main power source. Uranium is a very scarce resource, and it will not maintain its power needs for a long time, as well as extremely expensive to mine. According to the Nuclear Information Resource Center, uranium mining is overwhelmingly done on the land of indigenous people. These communities are disproportionately affected by sickness and genetic impacts. Now that I have talked about a few of these nuclear energy downfalls and negative effects, I will talk about some of the specific examples in which involve power plants failures. Nuclear power plant failures occurred and have had large impacts on the environment and the people around them. The biggest nuclear power plant disaster ever in history was Chernobyl in 1986. Here is an image of what happened to the power plant of Chernobyl. It's really hard to see. There. Here it is. As you can see, one of the main radioactive conductors was blown up, causing a spew of radiation poisoning happening all over the city. Over 50 people died. However, that is not that much. The radiation exposure also caused cancer to people who stayed behind, as well as contaminated lakes and rivers and food supply, which caused massive mutations in children. Other major accidents have occurred on the 3 Mile Island in the United States and Fukushima, Japan. The 3 Mile disaster, which happened in Pennsylvania back in 1979. The disaster occurred when a failure in the valve caused radiation to pour into the surrounding lake. The Fukushima disaster has occurred much recently due to the tsunami back in 2011. The tsunami caused the reactors to overreact and explode. According to Colin McCullen, in an article titled "Concerns over Nuclear Energy Are Legitimate," the real risk of nuclear power is that active human interaction has to be maintained, Come rain, shine, war, or political upheaval, it has to be maintained. As you can see, power plants are not 100% accident-free due to human error, or Mother Nature. However, they do provide sustainable amounts of energy for its nation. Nuclear energy is one of the main sources of energy for developed countries. According to the article by greenforward.org, nuclear energy provides energy for 1 in 5 houses in America. This energy is created using less materials than energy created from oil, gas, or even coal. The second big advantage of nuclear energy is the fact that it doesn't create any greenhouse gases like oil, gas, or coal does. However, it does not talk about the impairments when it creates a byproduct of that is radioactive and is very dangerous to handle. Even though this energy can be very productive, it still creates a harmful waste that I just mentioned. And the following solutions that I'll mention in a second do not create a waste and are very helpful for the environment. The first main source of energy that is renewable and helpful that's been gaining traction over the last 2 decades is wind energy. I know many of you who live in Wisconsin have seen these because they have been going up all around the town, all around the state actually, because wind is a clean fuel source with zero pollution. According to alternateenergy.org, it is also the most cost-effective as well as one of the lowest priced renewable energy resources available. The big advantage of using wind power is that you can put them almost anywhere that has land. The second popular form of renewable energy is solar power. This too doesn't have any impact on the environment, as well as it is very easy to maintain once installed. According to an article titled Solar Energy World, improvements in the photovoltaic cell, which is the primary tool converting solar energy to usable energy, have increased in efficiency and lowered in cost, making solar energy more efficient and attractive and affordable for the average homeowner. Overall, nuclear energy is Overall, nuclear energy isn't the power source that we need to use for the 21st century. Nuclear energy poses a problem due to its expensiveness, the toll it pays on our environment, and the fact that there are way more things that outweigh it because of clean energy uses. Nuclear energy is not the best source of energy that we could be using today. Nuclear energy. You now know that nuclear energy isn't the greatest source, and I want you to maintain this thought throughout the rest of your life. As I wrap up my speech, I would like you to look at these following pictures of what would happen if you ever had radiation poisoning to you or your loved ones. And then there's another one. Thank you. Here's my audience.